Yo, what's going on, world? It's your boy Poncho here. Welcome to episode 4 of our podcast, which we still do not have a name for. We will figure that out in the future once the whole branding piece is put together. But we back. This is a podcast for artists, musicians, creative entrepreneurs, anyone that wants to take their passion for art and turn it into a full-fledged business. So if that's you, definitely tap in, subscribe, follow, all that good shit. I'm here with my co-host, Cruz,
what's going on, y'all? Again, I'm a future entertainment attorney, working towards my master's in music business.
Yes, and future famous entertainment lawyer.
Yeah, you know that. So, and today we got our boy Meeko. Meeko, bro, thank you so much for joining us today from Freshchester. A term that I learned from you, but I'm rocking with it for sure. Yeah. Specifically from Peekskill, New York, so the town right next to where we from. So
appreciate it
for sure. Thank you for coming, bro.
No, I'm glad to be here, and we back again here with Poncho and Cruz. I'm glad we're here, and just happy we're getting this thing going here.
For sure. So real quick, could you just really briefly tell the people your come up story, how you got started in music and how you got to where you are now and what you do today currently?
Okay. Well, like when I was younger, I was always like really artistically inclined, I played piano, I played cello.
I played the bass myself, so
the bass. Can we curse? We curse. I fucked with the bass a little bit, and but my main shit was playing the guitar. I played guitar for many years, and kind of put it down regretfully. Hopefully, I'll pick it back up again soon, but. So I was always like really artistically inclined, played instruments, I sang, whatever. And then when I was, I'd say about 10, 11 years old, I discovered Tupac and Eminem. And after that, it was off to the races. So I started kind of writing little raps, and then I was doing poetry and, you know what I mean? Just kind of like taking all these like eclectic sources of shit my parents used to listen to, all the oldies, the classics and everything, and then taking hip hop and kind of things like Rage Against the Machine, Linkin Park, and I kind of took all these influences, put them together, and
That's
then
so funny. I hear all of those in your music.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah,
for real.
Linkin Park for sure.
What about Hollywood Undead? I got that before too.
I haven't listened to them in fucking 10 years.
I can't even tell you what they sound like.
I don't even know what they're doing now.
I don't know about that one, but definitely Linkin Park and Eminem. Sure.
You definitely have your own spin on it. On the hip hop genre. I would say you're a hip hop artist, what you describe as, of course, right? Rapper and hip hop artist, and you have your own take on that, and I definitely see those influences in you for sure.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, it's like who you listen to and everything you kind of take in. Listen, everybody kind of takes something from somebody else. And it's one of those things where it's like you can't help but be influenced, even if you say you're not. Oh, I don't sound like him. That's bullshit, man. You grew up listening to him. You know what I mean? So it's
there's nothing wrong with that too.
I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, facts.
I think it's a good thing. But so it started like that, and then I said when I was around 17 years old, I kind of stopped writing. I just stopped, and all I did was freestyle all the time, all day, every day.
Like when you made songs too, you were making songs at that point at 17?
Yeah, I was, and it just everything was off the top. You know what I mean? We had the garage band mic, you know what I'm saying? Audacity, you know what I mean? We in my man John's garage, and we just getting the ciphers going, you know what I mean? And then, a couple years down the line, I said, you know what? I think this has actually got some legs, you know what I mean? So I just started going at it, and then I just haven't stopped since. That's it.
Fire. Hell yeah. All right. So if y'all don't know Meeko, he is, I would say, one of the hardest working artists in Westchester. Every other day I see him at a new show, working with someone new, putting out a new song, new video, something like that. And that's something I respect. More than anything, I think that's your strongest quality. The consistency that you do shit. Were you always hardworking like that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I come from an immigrant family. You don't work, you're a piece of shit, man.
Yeah.
Where's your family from?
Italy.
Italy.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, my father was I remember, You know, I'm like 8, 9 years old. I'm hustling around the neighborhood. I'm going, let me rake your leaves. Let me cut your grass. Let me do this. Let me do that. So I went to my pop one day. I was like, Pop, you know, I need some more money. He's like, oh, go get a fucking job then. I'm like, I'm 9 years old. He's like, yeah, no. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what you know? But for real. And then like when I was like 13, I started working in a restaurant. And that's just something my father drilled in me from such a young age. He's like, yo, you got to work. You got to work. You got to work. So I was always employed. And the energy and, you know, what he instilled in me from a young person, I put into everything. Yeah. You know, so I appreciate what you're saying. And I know, like, a lot of people, they tell me, they're like, yo, it shows. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when you want something, you go after it, you go hard, and you don't stop. And that's just what it's all about. That's
for sure. I would say the strongest quality I recognize in you is just your ability to put your personality and your influence and, like, your values into your content, beyond just the music, like, your content in general. Like, you're very expressive about what you believe and how you're trying to make that happen. You know what I mean? So I would say that that's very much what I value in you as an artist and just as a content creator and just as, like, a media personality in general. So, shout out for you for just being constantly, like, displaying what your music is about and you know, letting your fans and anybody interested in your work know that for sure. So I just need to give you that recognition for sure.
My question for you is that how, with that work ethic, I know it must have benefited you for sure when it comes to music and shit. How that versus straight up talent, what do you think has gotten you further to this point, or skill, or anything else? What do you think takes you furthest?
Well, you know, it's like what they say, right? Like, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. You know what I mean? So it's like I see a lot of guys, they're extremely gifted. You know, if you're being gifted and being talented are two different things. You know, talent is something you have to work at. A gift is something you could just turn it on. You know, some people are really gifted, but they don't possess the work ethic. You know what I mean? Someone like me, I think I'm gifted, but I think I'm talented because I work so hard to be talented. You know what I'm saying? So I think they both go hand in hand. And I think in, like, this particular instance, like from you saying me, is like when I don't feel like, it's going to be weird for me to say this, but it's like, because you feel like every artist, when you lay something down, you should feel your own shit, right? I mean, everybody, yeah, bro, this is right. But sometimes you lay something down and you're kind of about it. But that's one of those things where I say, okay, then I just got to work harder. Because that means the next one's going to be even better. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, they get to that point, they get discouraged. So it's like, I don't let it discourage me. I just say, all right, I put out this one. They're not really feeling it like that. That's cool. I got another 50, 60 in the bag.
It sounds like you're a healthy critic of your work, like, in a way. Would you say that, or would you say you're over skeptical? I mean, it's hard to evaluate yourself in that way.
I think that word healthy is very subjective.
For sure. It's one of those things. You know, but it's all.
I know what you're saying, though.
Every artist struggles with that in some way. Am I being too critical, or am I like, you know, liking my stuff too much? You know what I mean? So, you know, how do you work through that yourself? You know what I mean? Like, do you like to show your work to a lot of other people before you actually do something with it? Do you have, like, you know, people that you trust in your circle that you like to work off of before you release? Like, how do you work through that?
Yeah. I mean, no, definitely. I mean, I definitely got a small circle of fresh ears, like, for anything I make, especially if, you know, there's something that I'm kind of like second guessing. But I'd say more often than not, for me personally, when that comes into play, is like, I got songs that I haven't released yet just because it shows such a degree of my vulnerability as a man and a human being that, like, I don't know if people, like, I'm ready for the world to hear about.
It's not even about, you know, like the skill or quality. It's just the concept.
Yeah, exactly. And then when I show it to my circle, they say, dude, unfortunately, when you're going through shit, that's your best material, man. You know, so sometimes, like what you say, is it healthy? Yeah. At times it can be, but sometimes it could be a hindrance because now, like, I'm getting in my own head and I'm like, oh, I just got out of this relationship, or I just did this, I just did that. Do I want people to know A, B, and C? But then, you know, you look at guys like, you know, NF, who, you know what I mean? They just wear their heart on their sleeve and, you know, independent fan base. The guy never has anybody feature on any of his songs except Hobson and Tech Nine.
I never noticed that,
you know, a couple months ago. But there's a degree, like, as you mentioned before, like, it's about, you know, being true to what you actually believe in and putting that in the content. Like, there's not a lot of artists who could do that.
You got to be bold to do that. Like, that song, How Could You Leave Us? Like, I know that he must have had a fucking pit in his stomach before he dropped that shit. That shit is crazy.
You're in a position different than a lot of artists because a lot of artists don't wear their self on in their music as much as you do. So that question might be different for other people that are like, I don't really touch on things that I don't want the world to know. But you definitely, that's one of your strengths, or at least like qualities that people will gravitate towards, and something that you should embrace continuing. But
absolutely, man.
This reminds me of a convo about like how labels almost want their artists to go through shit because it makes them make better music. I remember watching.
They play with your life, man. Yeah. That's the bottom line. And I'm real happy you just brought that up because without saying any names, what I'm saying, but I recently had an opportunity with an A&R for an extremely major record label, and got on the phone with this guy. We were talking, and this guy, money was his god. If you understand
how could you tell?
By that. You could. Everything was about the money. Everything was about money.
Yeah, this guy was like, itself,
this guy was like, I don't give a fuck if your friend died. This, that, and the third. It's about hit records, hit records, getting to the top of the charts and making that bag. And I'll tell you, I was tempted because this guy's like, listen, we're gonna put you in artist development. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. I'm gonna put you in the room with this guy. I'm gonna put you in the room with it. And the names he's throwing out and the pictures on his socials are, crazy. But at the end of the day, I got off the phone and I said, but you know what, man? I'm not going to make the connection with the people that I want. You understand?
People being the fans that you want. Or
exactly. Exactly.
The type of content and,
because the industry is always going to be the industry.
Yeah.
It's always going to stay there. These people, they're not going to, it's that intimate circle in Hollywood where they're okay with that. You know what I'm saying? But for me, it's like, if I got to compromise my morals, what kind of man can you call yourself?
Yeah. Also, just to add on to that too, like if he or anyone else is to compromise their morals, like this is what I feel like a lot of people don't understand about like doing, I'll call it clout chasing, right? It could be a lot of different things, but basically doing shit to get on that's not you. You don't attract your people to that. You attract what you're putting out, and that's not you. And I see a lot of people get like depressed and like hate their fans and shit like that. So I've seen that happen.
Absolutely. I mean, dude, if you take my music and you put it up on some of these channels where they're playing, like Tekashi and NBA Youngboy and Trippie Redd, nothing against them. They all do music in their, their own right. But to their markets, you know what I'm saying? Like there's some people who don't care that 6ix9ine is a snitch. You know what I'm saying? There's some people who don't care whatever, A, B, and C about one artist or another. But I find that when I tap into those lanes in their fan base, everyone thinks I'm trash. And it's just because they're so used to listening to a certain kind of vibe or aura or subject content.
It's not your people.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's all about finding the right audience. So if you got the right audience, you know what I'm saying? Like I said this to you the first time we got together. Like I'm more concerned about if I help somebody. You know what I'm saying? If somebody's really going through something, like, listen, I'm really on the verge of leaving this crazy world because I don't even love myself enough to, you know what I'm saying, not take the easy route. You know what I'm saying? And then they throw on a record and they're like, you know what, bro? Like, I'm going to keep it pushing. And that to me is something, it fulfills me as a person. So I would take that over the money any day.
When did you find that part of yourself in your music? Like, was that something you realized early on, or was that something you had to work towards? Like, did you have to go through some trials and tribulations before you were like, I'm in it for the wrong reasons? Or were you like, or just right from the get, like you knew that you were trying to help people from the beginning,
Nah, I didn't know because, you know what, man? When we're all young, we have these grandiose ideas about how it's supposed to go, right?
Based off of what you've seen.
You know what I'm saying?
Attracted you to it to begin with.
And then when you start doing it and, you start seeing, like, we have an effect on people, man. As creators, we have an effect on people.
Fact.
You know what I'm saying?
Maybe more than anybody, yeah. Any type of class.
So you have to recognize that. So once I recognized that, that's when I shifted to that, that thinking, you know what I'm saying?
Great. Kids listen to their favorite artists more than their parents.
It's true. It's true, man.
Yeah.
It's true, man. 100%,
That's crazy,
bro. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So,
all right. We were just talking about this off camera too, which is funny that he brought this up. You engineer yourself.
yes.
you actually have a lot of different skills. Can you break down everything you do for your own career?
Yep. You mentioned something in a prior interview that you said it's just, it's as much as you can wear many hats. It's probably worth it to you invest in that if you have the time and space to invest in certain different, skills. So, could you speak more on that for sure?
Well, I put it to you like this, man. It's like an enemy cannot hurt you as bad as a friend can. You know what I'm saying? Like someone who's in your circle and someone who's close to you, someone you rely on, if those people are going to let you down, forget about your enemy. You know they're your enemy. You know they're the competition. But if you got somebody who has a skill, like I'll give you an example, graphic designer, I'm an artist building from the ground up, So if I have a friend who's a graphic designer, hey, bro, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? You kind of start to get to that line where it's like, okay, like how much am I going to do him favors before I'm compromising what I'm taking in from my pocket? Word. And then feelings get thrown in the mix. And then it's like, oh, well, you brought me to this show and you didn't do this or you didn't do that. And then people get jealous and it leads to problems. So I said to myself, listen, if you want to ride with me, that's cool. But I can't rely on you because now when I rely on you, I'm potentially putting myself in a position where, okay, if I lose you, what do I do now? Not only do I lose you as a friend or a potential business relationship, but now I lose the skill that you had. So as far as that, like, I mean, I'm an audio engineer, so that already knocks out a large majority of it. You know what I mean? I've engineered at studios. Yeah. So, and I'm always trying to get better at it and, listening to podcasts, watching videos, whatever. So just being able, and I have a studio in my house that I built. So now I say to myself, okay, I record myself, I mix myself, I master myself. Cool. Now, the next step after that for me is just relationship building because I got a job. You know what I mean? I'm a chef. So it's like I have an income, even though the music income's not coming right this second, but I do have a job. So now it comes down to, okay, I need a video. Okay, now who do I know? I much rather pay you than you do me a favor because now when I pay you, you're going to, there's an expression, I forgot how it goes. It's something like, building a relationship will get you loyalty, but greed will ensure it.
Okay, word.
You know what I'm trying to say? So it's like, I met you. Oh, yo, I do this, I do that. Oh, that's cool. We build up a rapport, we build up a relationship. If I said, hey, listen, man, I'm about to shoot something, whatever. You want to come along and blah, blah, and we don't talk nothing about money. Yeah, I might have to do this, but let's see. They might pull up. They might do a half-ass job. They might do this. But if I find out what you're doing, say, listen, bro, I got $300 for you. I need you to pull up here and do this, that, and the third. They're not going to ask no questions. And you're going to get what your money's worth most of the time because you're paying this person. And because you're generous, they're going to want to come around you. And that's how I keep specific people in my circle.
Showing that you invest in them, you care about the relationship, and then they reciprocate.
Hell yeah. Like I got a friend of mine who he does music videos. He didn't have a drone. And I said, listen, I'll buy you the drone. Just do the right thing. And he's been doing the right thing ever since.
Fine.
So that's one thing that you're amazing at. I've noticed from afar and just from our conversations is just making sure you're taking care of the relationship before like your actual, maybe even product at times. Like just just investing in people and just just moving with the right energy where people like look at you as like, besides the music, besides what's going on, like I just like working with that person. Like, and that's really what it comes down to. Like when it comes down to like most things that happen in this industry, it comes down to like, I have to have a conversation with somebody before like the art or the product is even created.
Relationships over everything.
So,
Don't stop being so fucking short-sighted.
Yeah,
the fuck.
100%. 100%. Listen, man, don't like be afraid
it's a people business.
To a lot of people like I got these artists, man. They're on the same level as me, bro. Like not even as many followers or engagement, whatever. And they're like, oh yeah, 200 a verse, dude. Like, we're in the same I should be charging you, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're doing this off the love. Like, I'll bring you to my house. If studio time's the issue, I'll record, mix, and master your shit for free. Like, what is it? Like, do you listen, you have to value your brand. Of course, make the money. But it's one of those things where it's like, you got to ask yourself, do you want the short dollar? Or do you want that guy who might get the record deal who might hit you up one day?
I also want to say there's been a lot of people that, because I've been working with art. I've worked with, at this point in my career, hundreds of different artists. And I hear it all the time because everyone is so connected. Like, yo, I would have loved to work with this person, but they wanted 100 for the feature, and
Artists talk, just people
bad.
talk.
I mean,
yeah. So it's like, what are people saying about you when you're not around? And that's like something at least I always want to preserve. You know, it's like you want to preserve them, and you know, what are they saying about you when you're not around? Because that'll make them want to.
Well,
work with
look
you
at it
or
like
not.
this, right? Seeing as here the whole premise of everything, right? Business, entrepreneurship, and music, and all these things were tying together. Music, when you view yourself as a business and a brand, of course it makes sense, man. You gotta make your fucking money. I mean, you're stupid if you're not, you know what I mean, trying to get a little while you can. However, what do you offer me in value? It's not enough these days that you're nice. You know what I'm saying? It's really not. That's just the add-on. Now it's about your platform. What kind of platform are you offering me? Do you have a podcast? You know what I mean? Do you have 50K on Instagram? Do you have something that's going to make me want to give you money? Do you have the Spotify streams? I paid for features.
And the trajectory of it too. Like, how do people view you moving forward? Like Poncho is somebody that I see like he has a growth mentality, and you as well. Not to make it about Poncho, because you as well, 100%. But like, shout out Poncho, because like his trajectory, just his mentality and the way he thinks about things is like, in my opinion, like the best that you can have, in the sense of like just constantly being a healthy critic and understanding like what you're providing to people, and like just moving in that realm of like positivity and growth. Like just you could see that in people.
I feel like I'm not doing shit, but I appreciate that.
But
but again, not even to just make it about, but that's what I'm saying. But that's what I like about Poncho, because Poncho understands the money's gonna come. You know what I'm saying? Like that's that.
A fact.
You understand what I'm saying? So the work, like if you guys understand, like, and I know you're going to school, and I'm sure you do too, but like corporations, you talk about equity and value. The money you spend, people think like, oh, I just spent this to build the studio, I just spent this, but you're not getting a return. Nah, man, you're building equity in your brand. You have to value yourself in that way. All this equipment, all these lights, everything you had, this is all equity. And when you're steadily working towards that, the money's going to come, man. It always does.
That's a fact.
So
do you recommend that all artists follow that path, learn to engineer, learn to mix themselves, shit like that?
It depends, man. It depends. You know what I'm saying? If you're one of those people like who, you don't have the income to sustain always going to the studio. Like, how much do you produce? You know what I mean? Are you a guy, you release a song every 6 months? Then, then maybe being an engineer might not benefit you, because, you'll pay to go to the studio once every 6 months. But if you're one of those guys who you're dropping a song every week, it might benefit you to learn some principles, man, and just get yourself a laptop and some Logic, and just get it enough up to par where people are going to want to invest in you and work with you.
Yeah, facts.
I hear that.
I also want to say that when artists do that, like one problem I see all the time, because I engineer on the side as well. I'm not the best engineer, but I do. And I outsource all the mixing. Shout out my man's J-Bat, who mixes everything for me. Artists can't communicate with their engineers because they don't know the language. So I think that's important.
Just like the fundamentals.
Yeah, just so you can speak to it, and you're not like, yo, make my voice sound like it's underwater. Like you don't gotta say shit like that.
Right. Yeah, I can.
I
can hear that.
Well, I'd say in that sense, no, it would definitely benefit you to learn the terminology. No, I'd say that definitely hands down, because a lot of times, like, what's something you always hear? Oh, can you put an echo on it? You mean a delay?
Yeah.
You mean delay?
Facts.
Like, oh, can you make it sound like I'm in here? Oh, you want a reverb?
Yeah. Bro, if you don't know the language, you just the chance of you having a miscommunication is just, and then you're not happy with the product.
Yeah.
So
and I know you make a type of music that's like very personal and very revealing, and you maybe at times you might be skeptical of yourself and what you're saying. So would you say that really like gives you the space to really try things? Because besides like being personal, I know artists that are just straight up scared to try things with their voice, because
that's a fact.
Like just straight up just scared to try things at all. They don't want to try to hit a certain note because the engineer might judge them and laugh type shit. So
no.
I'm laughing because it's true. I'm laughing.
Straight up. Like I know that's the vibe.
Nah, because at the end of the day, that's rooted in insecurity and fear.
So as an artist, you should get through that no matter what you're facing.
I always try different shit, because the thing that separates me from the next guy is that I don't give a fuck about failing. I don't care, bro. I don't care. I've been to shows where like every artist who went on, people were rocking to their shit. Then as soon as I came on, it's like the room went quiet. I don't give a fuck, bro, because I'm here and you're gonna acknowledge me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna show you like I'm here, bro. You know, you don't have to fuck with it, but you're gonna give me my 5-6 minutes or whatever it is that's up there. So if you don't like it, or if I tried something new, whatever, I don't care, man. I'm not afraid to fail. And I think that as an artist, man, if you're afraid to fail, go find something else, dude, because this is not fucking for you. You know what I'm saying?
That.
Like,
I think that
shit,
I don't think I'm the best producer. I don't think I'm the best engineer. I don't think I'm the best with cameras. But what I can confidently say is I personally feel like, and out of all creatives in 914, I've made more public mistakes than any of them. I can say that. And, you know, I don't, not to brag, but I have a dope studio now and I've done a few things. So I think they're correlated.
Your growth is
they definitely are.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Good looks.
Yeah,
next thing I want to hit on is you have something that I don't see in a lot of artists, and that's your business backend infrastructure built. You have a website, no gimmicks, shit like that. Like like everything is together and everything makes sense.
Right.
First of all, how important is that?
Bro, I have to tell you, that is probably the biggest thing that holds back every artist.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'll tell you why. If I go to your YouTube, and it's youtube.com/Meeko914, then I go to your Instagram, and it's at Meeko, you know, underscore, blah, 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 blah. And then now, you know, you're making it difficult for people to locate you where they need to. And that all comes with branding, right? So it's like, okay, now let's assume all your handles are the same. It's all at Meeko Kolledi, which it is, by the way. So if anyone's interested, at Meeko Kolledi,
tap in.
Everything. All right, meekokolledi.com. But that's part of branding. But then other than that, you go to each platform, there's a different profile picture. You go to each platform, you don't even got a cover photo up. Cover photo, man, is a big real estate.
That's
on your
people's
socials.
first impression of you.
Yeah. So if you look and you say, Meeko, you know, watch me out now, click to watch this, you're in. But if you just got Meeko with a dope picture, it's like, okay, he's got a dope picture, but you know, he's not really. So it's branding. You know what I'm saying? And when your branding is on point, it gets to the point where like dudes don't even give a fuck about your numbers, because now they're looking at you and say, it doesn't matter what his numbers are, his shit is together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
fact.
If that is not on point and your mixing and mastering's not on point, it's like you're kind of giving people the message that you don't take your shit seriously.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
You know,
double down on the mixing and mastering, bro. I can't listen to a song that's mixed like shit. I fucking can't.
And adding to that, the visual aspects, like your visual aspects are definitely on point as well. Like I could tell that's something that you put a lot of time and effort into, and probably money as well. So you know, you have a ton of videos out and you do them all pretty well. So and if not exceptionally well. So
appreciate
getting that visual aspect out and making sure that's on point as much as like the audio part of it, because what we were talking about, like 70% of Instagram people
we're statistics are like people that go through Instagram, it's I need to actually look this up. I might be talking out my but I'm about to be 0 for 2, but it's something like 30% of people that scroll through Instagram do it with the sound off, and on stories it's like 70%. So like visuals are like important and shit. That's what we're talking about.
For sure. So
100%.
make that touch point with the visuals.
Word. I want to talk about one other thing that you do a lot of different shit in your career, like in terms of you have videos of you just like straight up talking where you show your personality.
Yes.
You have hella shows and things that you do, videos, all those things. A lot of different things to get eyes on you. In your opinion, what do you think is the most efficient thing that you do in order to get your numbers up?
Performing?
Yeah.
Hands down.
Really?
Yeah. Like I didn't understand that at first, because you know I always had this idea in my head like, oh, you just get a viral hit, you know what I mean? Like boom, you just pay for the YouTube ads, you do this, you do word of mouth, you do your email list and campaigns. But let me tell you something, man. I go to these shows and there's one thing I do that I never see anybody do, and it gives me such an advantage. So I'm giving everyone a free hack right now, so pay attention. If you go to a show where 30 artists perform, every time someone gets off, even if they suck, you go and grab their Instagram. And I guarantee you, they're going to be a more dedicated follower of you, because you went out of your way to go fuck with them,
yep,
rather than hitting a dude up on IG. Hey, yo, I just released a new music video. People are tired of that shit, dude.
Facts, bro.
Nobody wants that. But if I make the connection with you in person, like, bro, that was dope, and then actually throw one of their own lines at them. Yo, I like when you blah, 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 blah. They'll never forget that. And I got people I met at shows that they're like, anytime I upload, so they're the first people to like it.
Bro, I get behind that 100% because I say it all the times. A lot of artists, especially at the early stage, artists could be your most important fans. Like, they could be the ones that are really, like, they understand the struggle and they give you a chance more than other fans might. And they also, you know, they try to show love, so you show love back. They might repost you. Like, artists could deadass be the ones that give you the chance and could be your most important fans and pass it on to somebody. And when you grow up, you know, and when they blow up, they could pass you on to, you know, you could be their features and all things like that. So I definitely, you know, recommend to other artists to follow artists as much as you can, like, or not any artist, but, you know, ones that you could actually build a relationship with.
Yeah, more than that, bro. You just never know who someone's gonna become.
And that as well.
Yo, you know, actually, just a little side note, I just want to, you know, add this in too. You know, we're in the mecca of hip hop, right? New York. Okay.
Yeah.
So one thing about New York, bro, that like is just unique here is that when you go to a show, people just grilling you. People, it's competition. It's more like, okay, who's the nicest in here?
Yeah.
Who's gonna? Dude, I go to these other cities. I go to Philly. I go to DC. I go to Albany. Completely different vibe.
Really?
These people are more. It's a community out there. Now, I'm not saying it does not exist in New York. I've met a lot of great people in New York, but New York, the market is so oversaturated that it's a lot harder in New York. You know what I'm saying? So when you get there, if you are not the nicest of the nicest, this is one time I will say to you, Poncho, that talent that's probably going to take you further than hard work or being gifted. Because if you get up there, it doesn't matter, dude. If you're the nicest and you got 3 judges and they vote for you, that's all they give a fuck about is how talented you were. You know, of course, they observe other things, how many people you brought in the venue, how much the crowd's making noise for you. But if you do that, you do that. But New York, very tough market, man. Very tough.
Same with LA. I've never been to LA, but I've just heard.
Yeah. I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. I was out in LA for acting. And and out there, they have an expression. They say New York is forgiving, LA is not. You know, when acting, not music. But and they say that to say, it's like, you look at me, I'm like blonde hair, blue eyes. I go up in there, man, there's 100 motherfuckers look exactly like me. So what are you gonna do to separate you from them? You fuck up, you show up 1 minute late to set, you do anything, that's okay, because they'll just get Johnny down the fucking street. Probably do it for free too. You know what I'm saying? Just to get in the new fucking Vin Diesel movie. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, for that, you know, and that I could see translate like what you're saying there too. You know, you're in LA. It's got to be tough. It's got to be oversaturated.
You strike me as somebody that would probably be really good I've never seen you perform live, but at stage talking, like while you're up there, like I know you say that one of the things that you want to be while you're up there is positive. Like you want to, besides being the most energetic person, you want to be a positive person up there. So how do you go about like stage talking to the crowd? Like, is that something that you do a lot? Like how do you, do you plan something to say, or you really just feed off the energy of the crowd?
I feed off the energy. I feed off the energy because, you know, you gotta, like, for me, it's like I assess what kind of environment I'm in. You know what I mean? Because now hip hop the last 10, 15 years has changed so dramatically that, you know, you'll get to these shows that like are a little bit more on the, like I'd say the, more on the eclectic side, more about like, you know, cross genres, you know what I mean? Like you'll have guys mix like myself who mix all different kinds of things in there and, you know, singing and doing this and that or whatever. So, you know, you have that, but then, you know, then I've been to some of these spots where it's like, fuck all that melody shit, bro. You got bars. Like, you know what I'm saying? So if it's one of those spots, like when I'm up there, bro, I'm just a lion in the jungle. Like I'm getting up there, that's my stage, and I'm strutting about, holding my head high, do what I got to do. You know what I'm saying? Let people know I'm here. But if I'm going to a place that's a little bit more eclectic, a little bit more artistic, I might approach it a little bit differently. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes all that aggressiveness, people don't want to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. People up. That's interesting. I never heard someone put it like that.
You know? Yeah.
Nah, since we're on the topic of performances, and I feel like this is just an especially important topic for artists to really internalize. Like, I want know if you could speak on, like, how do you wind up getting on stage in the showcase scenes? Like, I know personally, if I'm trying to plug an artist in, you know, I'm always looking for who organized the events, the promoters, agent, whatever they want to go by. Because at that stage, it's kind of just like this got pieced together. Like, how would you say you go about, like, getting yourself on stage or something like that?
A lot of artists struggle with that,
yeah, and that's something they really struggle with.
Well, I think that artists are looking at it the wrong way. Right? And what I mean by that is, like, I'll give you an example. You know, a lot of people, you know, when they're on the internet, right, you'll go and search something on Google, and then you go on Instagram, and all of a sudden you'll see ads for what you were searching on Google. A lot of people, oh, the government's listening to me, this, that, and the third. No, motherfucker. There's a pixel or whatever the fuck they got that's tracking you, and you have marketers tailoring what you are looking at. You know, sometimes 1 + 2 = 3, bro. You know, I hate to break the fucking bad news here, but sometimes, you know, shit adds up. So that's not a bad thing. So when I'm on Google and I'm putting showcases near me, I go on Instagram, what starts popping up? You understand?
Yeah.
And the key is, don't watch people's stories. Go to their stories and skip every one, because you're going to see an ad every like 5 or 6 stories. And that's how I've gotten 95% of my shows.
For real.
You hit the promoters up most of the time.
It says showcase this day, $100 slot, DM me. We in there. Sometimes for free, sometimes 50, sometimes 25, sometimes admission only.
So you advocate for paying for slots? I know a lot of artists are against that.
Well, if you're against that, you don't value yourself enough to put the money in. That's the way I look at it. Because, you know,
That's interesting.
I'll give you an example. 2 months ago, I paid $30 to perform. And guess who was there? Grandmaster Caz.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're kind of fucking yourself. It's like, yeah, you're paying, but you never know who you're going to run into, bro. And you got to ask yourself, why are you doing this? Are you trying to make money and you're that scared about losing money? Well, listen, man, keep trying to get $100 of, you know, for dropping a 16 on someone's track. I'm the type of dude, I don't care about the loss.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. Money doesn't mean anything to me. So if I get the chance to pay X amount of dollars to get in a room of 100 people, and one of those people could potentially change my life, why would I argue with that?
There's so much you could get from it, just paying for a showcase. You could get a video. You could get a bunch of connections with other artists. You could get another opportunity to perform in the future. There's so much you could get from just being in some pictures, whatever it is, from putting that money into that. Like, I personally don't know why anybody, you know, I mean, depending on the scene, you know, some people would complain, but it's like, and you get the experience as well. Like, artists just don't have, a lot of times don't have the experience to really be a good performer. You need to get that. So, I mean, just for that alone, I feel like it might be worth it a lot of times. I personally wouldn't have a problem.
Well, I'll tell you like this, like,
depending on the scene.
For any artist who's listening to this right now and watching this, if you have that mentality where you're like, I'm not paying, you are not living in 2021. And the reason why I say that is because coming out the pandemic, you got artists who, with their name recognition, are supposed to sell out arenas, and they're having trouble selling 3,000 to 4,000 tickets. So you know what they do? They hit you up and say $300 a slot. Open up for this guy. $250, open up for that. Oh, fuck that, I'm not paying. Bro, you're being short-sighted, man. You're being short-sighted. You get in the same room with these motherfuckers, you never know, bro, what could happen. A&Rs, producers, whoever. You're paying for the opportunity to create a relationship, as you touched on before. It's about relationships. So if you that fearful to invest in yourself, this is not the career for you. Bottom line.
I agree with that 1,000%. I say this all the time, bro. You just never know who's going to change your life. You just don't know. You don't know when it's going to happen. But
now,
just put
granted,
yourself out there.
I will say this, though. That also doesn't mean that you blow your whole paycheck on paying for fucking slot time. You understand what I'm saying? Like, let's not get this twisted.
That's not the only part of your career.
No, I'm not saying because there's a lot of fugazi fucking promoters and dudes
That's
doing
why
some
so many
bullshit.
artists are against it.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
But if you test the waters and you're not afraid to lose $50 or $100, why the fuck not, man? The money will come. You know?
For sure.
So,
I got 2 more questions in here for you. You know, going back to the work ethic, like, yo, you just go hard as fuck. I'm just curious for myself, what drives you?
It's you know, for me, success is an obsession. It's an obsession. You know, when I wake up in the morning,
to win.
Huh?
You need to win.
I have to.
Yeah.
I have, and I already am, just because I'm fulfilling myself as a human being. You know, I'm spiritually fulfilled by what I do. So the reward's already there. It's just a matter of, what do you consider to be success? So for me, you know, creating the relationship with the fans, that drives me. you know, and that obsession with success to just keep pushing and creating, you know, that is something that, like, you know, I hear people, I'm like, oh, why don't you, you know, artists, like I got boys, I got people, even females, all different kinds of artists that I'm friends with. And they'll be like, oh, you know, I'm bored, or I don't know what I'm doing. I was like, yo, go write some music. They'd be like, no, you know, I got to write when I'm in the mood. Wrong. Because that morning, because I work out, that morning, you don't want to go to the gym, you go to the fucking gym, because that's going to be the best workout you ever had, because you worked through it. Mm-hmm. You know, 50% of the shit I write, you guys will never hear, but it doesn't matter, because I'm sharpening the saw. Uh-huh. So again, it comes down to the mentality. Do not be afraid to lose. You know what I'm saying? You ain't going to lose nothing.
For a fact.
So,
in your opinion, why do you think there are so few artists with that mentality of just get it by any means? Like, a lot of people just play with it. Why do you think that is?
I'd say what you're talking about, I think is more predominant in the rap game.
Really?
Yes. Because in the rap game, you got to look at the content they're pushing on us 24/7. Okay? Cars, clothes, money, girls. Living vicariously through somebody else about a lifestyle that you'll never get to. So what happens is that someone who's an artist and a rapper coming up who starts talking about these things, that's what they got on their mind. That's what they want. That's what they want to attain. It's not about the art no more, man. It's not about the art. So for you, it's about that quick dollar, or it's about, you know, oh, I'm going to go do this. I just want my bag. And those are the artists that are short-lived, in my opinion, man. You know what I mean? It's got to live through you, you know? So it has a lot to do with the content that you're pushing out, right? Because it's like what you said. My music is a direct reflection of who I am. How many artists can you honestly say that about? Truthfully. Mm-hmm. Honestly.
Very few.
You understand? Yeah. So with that being said, you know, these people, their priorities don't lie with the art, you know? Their priorities lie with the lifestyle. You know, and that's why certain dudes will just stay where they're at.
I love that you brought that conversation up, because I feel like in hip hop, like, we get so centered and focused on specifically hip hop artists. Like, when you touch on the fact before with the performances, like in performances, like, hip hop artists might not value performances, but like in other genres of music, especially the rock scene, the indie performance scene is how you get most of your fans. Yeah. So there's a difference in the way other genres approach the industry than like specifically in hip hop. So there's other things to learn from other genres and how other types of artists like pursue their career that are not hip hop focused. And there's definitely specificities, however you say that word, of the hip hop genre. Wow. Okay.
Fuck. Damn.
Well, battery died.
Like, nah, you fucking up your words, bro. Camera. Interview over.
Or if people are gonna be like Poncho, like, all right, this motherfucker's working. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
If your main touch point is Instagram, I feel like if your main touch point is Instagram, the way Instagram works, if people aren't consistently liking your songs, the next time you post that your new song comes out, it's gonna get put down the algorithm. So that's just like, if that's your main touch point, like I'm not sure exactly.
I'll be honest with you, bro. I found the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
And like which way?
All right. Like, I'll give you an example. And I learned this from watching an influencer on YouTube. If you are someone who posts every day, right? And you got stories and you got this, you got that, right?
Yeah.
A strategy you could do, don't post and don't put any stories up and wait about 5-6 days.
Okay.
Then put up a story with like a poll and just watch your fucking engagement shoot through the roof.
The poll specifically?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll post stupid ass poll. I post one that said, what do people like more, piano or guitar? I had like 700 people viewed that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Followers.
Yeah, word. Yeah.
Exactly.
Why a poll?
It's engaging.
People just engage with the poll. And they view it more, and then because they view it more, it gets passed on to the.
Because how it works is like Instagram's algorithm works like this, because they changed it. It's not chronological anymore. So what happens is that what I do is that before I drop a post, I DM people, not even about anything music. Just I hit up Poncho, yo, Poncho, what's good, blah, blah, blah. I'll hit up 15, 20 people just to talk. And what happens, Instagram sees that. So when you drop your post, those people you were DMing is going to see it first. Then when Instagram sees that, they push it to more your followers.
Yeah.
And then when the engagement grows with that, they push it to even more. And that's the way it works.
So that DMing for you like makes a big touch point. Like
oh, bro, it's a huge difference. Yeah.
I think so too.
Or even, did you see the post I put up before the Tech 9 shit I put up where I was like speaking about like we have responsibilities as entertainers?
For sure.
Bro, I sent that post to like maybe 7 or 8 people because I wanted them to comment on it, bro. I got like, I just checked, it was like 35 comments. 35 people literally weighing in and giving their opinions. But for me, that's a high number.
Oh, yeah.
For my followers. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where it's like what he was saying, man, you got to engage with the people, man.
Yeah.
You know, and that's, are we rolling again or no?
Yeah, we're rolling again. Engage with the people, bro.
So yeah, you got to engage with the people, man. And you know, that's one thing, like I'll see like especially, I'll be honest with you, like I see this more often with females, to be honest, where they have that like, okay, I look good, I sound good, I'm a commodity, every man wants me, right? But what winds up happening is that they don't engage, they don't follow back, and they don't do anything to make you feel inclusive. So what, right? So what it is like you're just eye candy. So it's like, yeah, of course, if you got a picture of you in like, you know, a fucking thong, you know, with your song playing in the background, yeah, your engagement might shoot up. You know what I'm saying? But if you're in it for the art, you know, and you're not on that whole clickbait shit and you're just trying to push it, bro, it's not really going to help you, man. You know, I've seen people with like, you know, like 20,000 followers, like in that situation, and I have higher engagement than them.
Yeah, word.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to ask yourself, is like, why are people going to your page? Is it because you look good, or is it because they really want you to hear the music?
That's a fact.
For a fact. Yeah,
So,
like artists be on some like, I only want to follow less than 100 people, so it looks like I'm not like trying to spam people for my follows, but it's like those people that you really follow and you have conversations with will be like your most true fans. Like they'll be there with you from the beginning, and they'll be like people will be skeptical to even follow people like they know and like have actual relationships with. But I mean, those people
shit's
can
weird
be really
to me.
important.
I don't fucking get that.
Yeah,
I don't understand that shit at all.
Makes an impact for a fact. So I'm not really a proponent of, you know, just ghosting people and trying to pretend like you're too Hollywood, obviously. So
don't
y'all ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
We back.
We're not gonna use any of them.
We back.
I might. I'll see.
Yeah, there was some good combo there. So like, I'd be cool.
He's like, there's some good shit.
There was some good shit.
There was some good shit. Let's see if it makes the cut.
Let's see if it makes it. Fucking.
Yeah, we're back.
Yo, I want to talk about your experience upstate. Not for the actual experience, but more because that's a fucking hard ass thing for any human being to go through. You know, you were away for 5 years.
5 years, yeah.
Just how did you make it through that? Also, I just want to say, I know this is about music and music business and shit, but there's gonna be a million fucking hard times that people will encounter on this journey. So that's one of the hardest experiences a human can go through. So I want to hear from that. How did you even make it through that?
Yeah. Like for me, man, it was, you know, just being in that kind of environment. It's all about surrounding yourself with the right people. You know, if you got people who made a mistake in their life and are trying to do the right thing, you know, and redeem themselves, I guess, in such a way, those are the people who are going to push you to do positive things. You know what I'm saying? So when I was in my cell rapping to myself, you know, and there's a dude in the cell next to me like, yo, bro, that sounds pretty hard, bro. Like you should, you know what I mean? Like whatever. You know, it gives you the validation to take your mind away from that craziness going on and say, okay, but now I have a future. What am I going to do, you know, after this? You know what I'm saying? So when we brought up before, I said, you know, for me, success is an obsession. That started when I was incarcerated. You know, when I was home, it wasn't an obsession. And then when I was incarcerated, I said, okay, you know, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I do have a second chance. I got my eye on the prize. I got a family that loves me and supports me. And I have content and music and things that I want to share with other people. So what always drove me was just knowing that A, it was temporary, and B, that it wasn't fatalistic for me. It was a educational experience.
Yeah.
You know?
Did you feel that way the whole time, or were there ups and downs where like sometimes
no,
like,
of course, ups and downs. No, ups and downs, man. Yeah. I mean, the situations you encounter, you know, are situations that the majority of people in this world are not, you know, haven't encountered before. So learning how to navigate that safely is without losing face is a challenge, but it can be done, you know, if you got your wits about you.
Yeah.
You know.
What about it made it educational for you? Because you use that, you know, terminology. So I'm wondering.
Well, now I know, not like I didn't before, but now it's just more obvious because you hear the same song and dance so many times that, like, I know what people want from me by, like, the second thing they say to me. You know, you could smell it.
Like
you
when it
could
comes
read
to
it.
intentions. And
Exactly. With anything. Women, relationships, coworkers, whatever. The one thing it teaches you more than anything is that you know when the writing's on the wall. And when I see the writing on the wall, I do what I got to do that's best for me. So it humbled me. It strengthened me. It gave me wisdom. And it made me more prepared, honestly, truthfully, you know, to just be out here and realize and recognize what's important.
Do you think, where do you think your life would be if you didn't go through that?
I would not be going this hard in music right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, fact. Fact, no, I wouldn't. So,
interesting.
And music to me, other than like my family, close friends, and the other things that, you know, we typically hold value in, music is the most important thing in my life, you know. So if I didn't go through that experience, like, I wouldn't be going this hard right now. And that's just the truth.
You think you'd be in like a worse place?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah, 100%.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
What would you say to anyone that, I mean, maybe not prison, but just going through an extremely tough time, whether it be in just their life, their career, anything like that? What would you say to them?
Like in what? What do you mean? Just going through?
Yeah, just going through it.
Going just in general?
Yeah, someone that made it to the light at the end of the tunnel.
Oh, who went through the same experience as me? You said?
No, not necessarily prison, but just something really difficult for them.
Oh.
Yeah.
What would I say to them?
Yeah.
To kind of, sun shines tomorrow, man. You know, like, we could talk about it. It's like, you want to sit down, tell me about your problems, tell me what's going through your life, man, that's all fine and good. But tomorrow, you still got a life to live. So, you know, you got to prioritize. You know, how long are you going to stay in that shell of self-deprivation? You know, because now, you know, you're forcing yourself to be a victim. You know, and like, one thing with me is that, you know, I refuse to be a victim in any situation in my life. So for people who I see and recognize that they're in that state of vulnerability, you know, and if you are in that state of vulnerability, you know, it's just very important for you to understand that at the end of the day, you know, whatever you do, you know, if you don't die from it, you know, you might go through some shame, some embarrassment, some monetary loss. You're still alive, man. You know, so count
Still
your
got
blessings.
a chance. Yeah.
Count your blessings.
That's fine.
So, like, one thing I'll add, right? My uncle always used to say this. He said, you know, just when you cry because you have no shoes, you meet a man with no feet. You know? So, the sun shines tomorrow, man. That's it.
That's fine.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
That's all the questions I have. The last question, I don't even want to ask. The last question was a message to artists, but I feel like that was a better message. But do you have anything else to say to artists? Just anyone else trying to turn their art into a business and a career?
I would just say that, just like, I'm just going to fall back on the whole theme of this, man. Just don't be afraid to fail, man. Don't be afraid to try. You know, like, oh, what if they think this? What if they think that? The engineers get, bro, fuck what they think. Are you doing it for them or are you doing it for you? And I gotta remind dudes of that every day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like really, let's get down to the bare knuckles. You trying to impress somebody? Like, well, I'll help you impress them. Like, if that's what it comes down to, like, you know, but like, what is you really? No, I'm doing it for the art. So don't lose the art. Don't lose it. You know, like, I saw an interview with Russ. We were talking about Russ before. Like, one thing Russ was saying was like, dude, the money, he's like, bro, that's just an add-on. He goes, I was going to make music anyway. So that's what it comes down to. Are you going to make music anyway because it fulfills you as a person? Or you just doing it for some arbitrary reason? You know what I'm saying? So,
for a fact. This was fun, bro. This was an amazing conversation, bro.
I appreciate it, man.
You officially
Thank you for having me.
Yo.
That shit was great.
Facts. Hell yeah. Real quick, could you tell the people where to find you on social media?
You can find me at Meeko Kolledi, MEEKO KOLLEDI. That's on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. Pick your poison. I'm on everything. And the website is Meeko Kolledi, same spelling, meekokolledi.com.
Yes, sir.
Meeko in the building, let's go.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So that's what it is. Like I said in the beginning, if you're an artist, creative entrepreneur, anyone that's looking to turn their art into a business, join the community. Like, we started this because we want to create a community of people that are really serious about their careers, trying to take this shit to the next level, just get everyone together so everyone can support each other. So that's you. Subscribe, tap in with Meeko, tap in with us, and I appreciate y'all watching. I appreciate you coming through.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you guys for having me, and I appreciate everybody watching me. And that's it, man. Just follow your dreams, pursue your goals. Don't be afraid to fail.
Yes, sir. Boom.
Yeah. It's a wrap. Woo! It's a wrap, son. Hey. Yeah, bro. Of course, bro. Good looking.
No, it's not.